successful people feel like a loser once in a while. Welcome back to Consultant's Corner. I'm Rebecca Brizzi. This is my corner. I am a consultant, and I'm using this as a quote, but it may be apocryphal. I ascribe the quote to Diane von Furstenberg, the fashion designer, but I heard it mentioned once somewhere that she said this, and I can't actually find a real reference to her having said this. So I'm not sure if it's true, and the place I heard it made a mistake, or if I never heard it and I made it up, and I'm confusing two different memories. But it's a great quote. It's important to remember that all successful people feel like a loser once in a while. And if it happens to you, do not take that as a permanent or even long-term setback. In fact, don't take it as a setback at all. Take it in stride. This ties into the unmotivational thing. It is good to have balance, and it is good to have opportunities to check in with yourself every now and then and say, probably shouldn't do it like that next time, or I could have done that better. Have those opportunities to face yourself with yourself and notice where you can improve. Be aware of your imperfections. Be aware of the opportunities for growth. You should always be able to analyze areas for improvement and thus find improvements and thus implement improvements. You never want to plateau, and you certainly never want to be stagnant. Feeling like a loser every once in a while is your way to identify areas for improvement. Because guess what? You're not perfect, and you're not going to be doing everything perfectly all of the time. And that is okay. If you haven't felt a little bit like a loser, if you haven't felt a little self-conscious, if you haven't thought, yikes, at any point in the last few weeks, then it might be time to check yourself. You might be in denial, you might be suffering from hubris, and you might be lacking self-analysis. This obviously doesn't mean that you should always feel like a loser or feel imperfect or feel self-conscious or feel afraid or shy. What I'm saying is that without you trying, those feelings will occasionally arise. When they do, don't fight them, but absorb them. Take them in and say, okay, all right, this is me checking in with myself. Why do I feel this way? Is it something that I said, I did, or in any way control? If not, forget about it. And if it is, do it better next time. That's all that this is about. One proactive method I employ to try to keep myself in check. Whenever I'm about to do a thing, before I start, I say to myself, I am the best qualified person to do this thing. I am the best person in this room to do this thing. That just gives me that boost in confidence. As soon as I'm done with the thing, I say to myself, what can I do better next time? How can I be even more prepared? If somebody saw me do this thing this time and then see me again next time, what are they going to notice that I've done to improve? I learned this trick with public speaking. I used to hate public speaking. Then I started freelancing as a consultant, and public speaking became an important thing, and suddenly I loved it. But the nerves were certainly there. They still are, of course. But what I learned at one of my very first speaking engagements was to say to myself, everybody in this room has a vested interest in my success. They have taken time and money to come here to hear me speak. So they want me to be good at this, to prove that they have made the correct investment. They obviously already believe that I am good at this, which is why I have been placed on this stage. And I obviously believe that I'm good at this, which is why I accepted coming to this stage. So I am the best person in this room to be giving this presentation right now. I said that to myself just before starting. It helped. I reminded myself that I was there for a reason. I gave my presentation. And afterwards, as always, I pulled out my note sheet for lessons learned, and I started to jot them down. You can do this at both ends of anything you're doing, whether it is public speaking, whether it is starting a new project, any part of your work that can be defined. Heck, you could do it with your days. Get up in the morning and say, I'm going to be amazing today because I'm really good at what I do. And end your day saying, all right, how can I make tomorrow better? Okay to be insecure. It's okay to feel like a loser every now and then. Take those moments, stop, hold it, examine it, learn from it, and work through it. Don't try to fight against it. Just work through it and come out the other side. This translates into the people with whom you surround yourself as well. Remember that you want people who do support you, but will also correct you. You need to get those people who you can trust, and who you trust that when they do correct you, they're doing it with your best interest at mind, not their own. The point is, when they're correcting you, are they criticizing you, or are they telling you what you could do better? Are they moving you forward into another direction? And how are they doing that? Are they doing that in a way that makes you think, I can do better? Or are they just doing that in a way that makes you feel bad about yourself? Don't surround yourself with people who themselves make you feel like a loser, but do surround yourself with those people who, when you do feel like a loser, will walk through that with you and not just pretend that it didn't happen. What's the next big project you're going to tackle, and how do you make yourself sure that you are going to be amazing at it and you are the best person to do it, but B, sure that you are also going to learn from it on how to make it better next time. Remember to have the confidence to do something well, and have the humility to look for improvements, lessons learned all the time. This is important when we work freelance. This is important when we are on our own and don't have those natural checks and balances as much necessarily. So if you are working as a freelance consultant, keep this in mind. And of course, click on the link in the description below, whatever learning platform you use, Udemy or Skillshare, how to become a freelance consultant. I'll see you at the next video. Bye now.
Hey, yikes.